Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show, Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k, specifically how to play 11th edition. So, hopefully, this video will be helpful for people who know a little bit about how to play 11th edition, but also hopefully it'll be useful to people who don't know how to play 11th edition. I myself am still in the process of learning all the new rules. And I'm going to have rules videos and we're going to talk about it and we're just going to continue to talk about it. So I'm going to take you through steps. So the very first thing I want to say is I'm going to teach you how to play a game of Warhammer 40k. However, there are all sorts of options, right? So you can kind of do to a certain degree whatever you want to do. So for example, I'm going to walk you through the event companion. And you don't have to follow all of those rules for the event companion when you get together to play with your friends. You don't have to follow the terrain layouts. You don't have to follow the force disposition chart. You can if you want to. Um, you don't have to follow all of the setup rules. You can kind of do whatever you and your opponent agree on. So I just want to lay that out there. So I am going to, talk about what the event uh, companion lays down. And I want that to be perfectly clear. If I'm saying this is how you do this and then you do that, I'm talking about what the event companion lays down and not saying you must play 40k this way because I demand it. I'm not saying that. Have fun. 40k is here for you to have fun. Play the game, with the rules that you should, movement and rolling dice and weapon skill and ballistic skill. Play it with those rules, but the order of how you do things and how you decide things, I'm going to just lay down the event companion. You can decide who's going to be the attacker or the defender because of thematic reasons, whatever the story that you want to tell is. That's a really cool part of 40k, is telling a story. I play Tyranids a lot, so I am the bad guy who is attacking a planet a lot. Um, Even though the Nids are not the bad guys. So anyways, I'm just telling you that's the perspective that I'm coming from, is I'm talking about the event companion. Now, another thing that's interesting that some people have already pointed out, this is what comes with the deck of cards, which you need. Go ahead and check out my video. You don't absolutely need it, but to do your primaries and your secondaries and twists and so on and so forth, you do need the information that's in this. People have already pointed out that the event companion already goes against this little booklet that comes inside of your deck of cards. So what I'm going to suggest to you is use the published event companion that's on Warhammer 40k if you're going to play with the event rules. So if you want to practice for RTT or Grand Tournament, these are the rules that you need to use. And use the one that's on the community website, warhammer.com community. Use that event companion because they have the ability to edit that and to update that and to keep that as a living live document. So that will evolve and grow with us as this edition continues. We're at the beginning of a 3-year cycle, so we've got lots of time for this edition. Go ahead and check out my video where it talks about the things that you need to play 40k, your little miniature baby rule book, your deck of cards, your terrain layout thing. Anyways, go ahead and check that video out. So let's get into it because these are going to be pretty short videos. I used a variety of resources to bring all this together to talk to you about it. I don't like the fact that I had to use so many resources and there's not everything just in one place. I don't like that. But I did use, like I said, the rulebook, the cards, and I used the app. So one thing that is really cool about where we are currently is the app is free right now. Um, so, download it, get it in there. All of the 11th edition rules are free. The app is important because, once again, they can update the app and keep the rules live for you. You have to pay to unlock the codexes. So you basically buy the codex and they give you a code and you then put that in and then you can access all that stuff. But I've currently got all of my codexes from 10th are still unlocked right now in 11th, and they probably will stay that way until you buy the new codex and pay to unlock it. So, anyways, I just want to say that the app is super useful. This is what the app looks like, right? So it's got your core rules, combat patrol, the event companion, chapter approved, and then it goes through the different armies. At the bottom is Battle Force. So because I don't pay for the subscription, my app can just make one army, but it has all the updated points. So you can just do one army at a time, and then I go and I write it all down in an Excel spreadsheet and print it off, and there you go. Um, it has a war journal now, which is how you score your games. So myself and a lot of people were using an app like Tabletop Battle Simulator or Tabletop Battle. Um, it's a great app, but I want to try out the War Journal, and I want to see how the War Journal does. I played around with it a little bit, but my point is right now the app is good. It will help you and is a very valuable resource. So if you don't have it, go ahead and get it. It's on both Mac and, or sorry, it's on both Apple and the Play Store. It's everywhere, right? Um, so we're going to start with going down this list. This is straight from the event companion. And I want to be here for new people who don't have a lot of experience to answer questions. So the first step is, before attending a Warhammer event, each player must go through the following steps. You have to muster your armies. Muster armies as described in the Warhammer 40K app. It's really obnoxious because it doesn't give you a great description of the muster step. And then you have to select a force disposition. I'll get there. Okay, anyways. So talking about the muster step. So I did a breakdown of the muster step here. I mean, this is just a Google search, but you are going to work together with your opponent to create a battle size, right? So you're gonna play 1,000 points or 2,000 points. Most RTT is played at the 2,000 point mark, so just keep that in mind. That's going to decide quite a bit. I'm going to move that. There we go. So anyways, you get your 2,000 points. 2,000 points is going to decide how many detachment points you have, because now you buy detachments with detachment points, which is how you wind up with multiple detachments, and that is important. So you're going to decide on a point size. Both of you get 2,000 points, let's say. That's 3 detachment points at this phase of the game. You're going to decide your characters. So what characters are attached to what units. So for example, I have Zonothropes attached to a Neurothrope. I'm a Tyranid player. I play other armies, but I'm just going to use Tyranids. So your Neurothrope is attached to your Zonothropes. And if you put Tyrant Guard with a Swarm Lord, then they're attached. Now, all those rules are different now on how bodyguard units or support units work. So there are possibilities, like you could have I'm just going to use Necrons. You could have a Skorpek Destroyer Lord leading a bunch of Skorpek Destroyers, so they're attached, and then you have the Plasma Sight as a part of the unit, and that's a unit support. And that just adds more models, but makes things a little bit bigger and a little more complex. This is where you're going to go through war gear. So there's not a lot of war gear options for Tyranids. A lot of times it's just changing out Scything Talons for Crushing Claws. There's a little bit of flexibility with the Tyrannifex, so putting a Casino Cannon, a Rupture Cannon, or Acid Spray, which is so good, on a Tyrannifex. So some of those things cost points now. But for us Tyranids, it pretty much balanced out because the Tyrannifex got cheaper, and then depending on what war gear you give it, it's either the exact same price or just a little bit more expensive, so that's not a big deal. And then the last part, which is now super important, is force disposition. So you have to pick force disposition. So you have 3 detachment points, and then you spend those 3 detachment points on your detachments. So for example, my invasion fleet that I like to play for Tyranids is 3 detachment points. If you're playing Crusher Stampede and Talon of the Norn Queen, That's two different detachments in your army. But anyways, so I am playing Invasion Fleet, and Invasion Fleet is Taken Hold. Okay, that's going to be important moving on from every other step. So right there, we just covered the muster step pretty much, and different tools that you'll need. I do want to keep these short though and break things down for you. So we're going to pick up the next video at the muster step, at the end of the muster step, basically, when you start mucking around with force disposition. I really enjoy sharing this with you guys. I hope this is helpful for people learning 11th and people who've never played before. I want this to be inclusive and to help everybody who wants to learn how to play, because I love the game, and that, my friends, is what the Dragon Slayer is all about. Thank you for spending your time here with us at the Dragon Slayer.